Hi, Dominique. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I have you on here to talk about Black Girl Magic Museum. I'm not even sure. Do you know how I found out about it?
I think you did through Jen, right? Jen is my publicist.
No, I saw a post on Black Girls of Texas.
Oh, yes. My
Yeah.
managing director posted in there. Yes, absolutely.
So I saw that and I was like, oh, cool. There's always something like Black women are always doing something in Texas. So, especially in DFW, I don't know what they do in Houston or Austin, but in
Yeah.
Dallas, it's like a different, everybody's getting at it. So, it's just really cool. So, well, I'll take this out too. Did they tell you about the podcast at all or?
No, I just showed up. I did look at your Instagram and things like that. I read a little synopsis. I just like to do my research a little bit so that I know what I'm walking into also. So I
Okay.
was able to look up a lot, and I was like, just to be honest with you, I'm just honored to have a Black woman that want to interview me, that want to be a part, to learn more. So I'm just always open to getting on podcasts, radio shows, whatever, and just talking, empowering, and collaborating.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure. I wasn't too sure, but so I talk about, balancing wellness and staying woke, and I think that the Black Girl Magic Museum, what I feel, what I've seen from, from the background research, that you guys are just trying to bring a light, and it's like a pop-up museum. So tell me a little bit about that and correct me if I've gotten anything wrong.
Oh no, you're fine. Yes, it's exactly a pop, like you just said, it's a pop up museum.
Mhm.
So, Black Girl Magic Pop Up Museum was created when, for one, I've worked in nonprofit for years, with inner city Black youth,
Mm.
predominantly females, and this year I was going to a lot of pop up museums, and I just saw that there was a missing part. We were underrepresented, and I was like, "Hey, I want to create something for us so that young Black girls and women can come and be a part of." And so I created the Black Girl Magic Pop Up Museum. It's going to launch November 28th in Dallas. This is our pilot city. So we're going to start here, and then we're going to be here for 14 weeks, and then we're going to Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to Mississippi. We're going to Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, that's my
Um,
okay, sorry.
Yes, 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 yes. And we're going to Memphis, Tennessee. So those are concrete on our list for 2021. And then for 2022, we're looking to do Chicago, Oakland, California. So basically, yes, we want to make sure that everybody can get a taste of the magic. And every city is going to have its own spin to it because we have so many amazing Black people all over the US. So we definitely want to implement some hometown touch to each city.
Okay, that's awesome. So, what was it like? What was the moment that you said, okay, this is what I want to do? Like, what was the exact impetus of Black Girl Magic Museum?
I really feel like the moment, just to be honest with you,
Mhm.
where I said, I'm going to go forward and I'm not going to look back. I had been planning this all year. I have three nieces that I love so dearly, and
Mhm.
they struggle so much with being Black girls. And
Yeah.
I mentor them. I had a subscription box based around Black girls, and
Mhm.
my siblings would tell me like, yeah, this box is good the one time a month that they get it, and it really encouraged them and inspired them, but they're really underrepresented, and they need to see, not us having to stroll so much through Instagram to find someone that look like them, but they need to see them in different outlooks. And I just really start creating that, not to knock anything that has ever been done, but a lot of times when we go places, we're always showed that we're slaves or this or, just different aspects. And it's like, no, we're magical. We have accomplished and overcame so much. And, adversities is not anything to us anymore. And I really wanted to highlight the beauty of the Black woman. I know I couldn't cover everything because we're not a monolith. We're so different. We're, just there's so many things. So I chose to cover things that I know have impacted me and my siblings and the people around me and the girls that I have mentored. So that's what really made me create it, and really push forward was, when the situation with Breonna Taylor happened. I
Mhm.
said, you know, I want to show people that we are human. We have emotions, we have feelings, and we deserve so much more than being shot down in the streets, in our homes, or anywhere else.
Mhm.
So yes. And
That's
I don't mean to preach, but I just have so much like
no,
passion behind
no.
that.
If you want to preach, trust me, you can do it. This is the place to do it. So, when someone comes into the Black Girl Magic Museum, I keep wanting to say BGMM because that's
Yes, yes, me
I
too,
think,
me too.
or what you call it, or BGM squared. I do like that a lot. You can use it if you want to, if you want to do that. But what can someone expect when they walk into the museum?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question. So we have a total of about, I say 15 rooms, but some of them are props. But my
Mhm.
favorite room, I have to say, is all of them my favorite room, but the one I really love is the Say My Name room. And it's not what
Mhm.
everybody think it is. Growing up, my mom has three girls, and we all have very beautiful names. We have a
Mhm.
Dominique, a Triisha, and a Kiara. And growing up, we would be so ashamed of our names. And when people would pronounce our names wrong, we wouldn't correct them, or we would give them nicknames or just whatever, or people making fun of our names. Just the story. And
Mhm.
so it really inspired me to say. So Say My Name is saying, embrace your name. Your name is your spirit. Your
Mhm.
name is it's everything to you. It builds and molds who you are, and not to be ashamed of your name. And it's very interactive. We have a chalk wall where you
Mhm.
can write any comment that was ever made about your name on that wall and leave it there. Leave it
Yes.
right there. When you leave out, don't even remember it anymore.
Mhm.
Leave it on the wall. So that's one of my favorite walls. The other one is, I am not my hair. And I think as Black women, we all can talk about the bad hair days or the embarrassing hairstyles or just whatever we thought it would be, or even just our hair in general. We get criticized for wearing wigs, for wearing braids, for being bald. If we want to shave our hair bald, then there's a problem there. And we really want to teach everyone, like, I'm not my hair, I'm not your
Mhm.
expectations. And I'm going to be free with, if I want to wear a weave, if I want to wear my hair in braids, if I want to go natural, I'm still a Black woman and I still deserve to be respected. So that's one of my favorite rooms, to really teach girls to
Mhm.
love and embrace, and women, who they are. Like, this is who we are, and we come in different hairstyles, skin colors, sizes, and all of that. So that's one of my favorite rooms. And then my third one is the dance room. I have a dance background, and really covering, the different styles of Black dance and the
Mhm.
culture and the history behind being a dancer. I love that room. So yes, we have so much. We have the melanin boxes, kind of like the Barbie boxes. You could come and be
Oh, I love
sassy in
that.
boxes. So yes, we have everything. We have a yoga room where you come and remember to meditate, and it
Mhm.
says peace, love, melanin up in there. So you just remember that you have to affirm yourself every morning before the day starts, and that you are enough. Even if you don't do nothing else, you are enough just the way you are. So yes.
That's absolutely beautiful. So one thing that recently had an interview with a guest actually today. I've been very busy, but we talked about the weight of a Black woman's voice. So and we talked about how sometimes we don't recognize that our voices carry weight, and with that being said, we have to fight through that hurdle. So if someone comes to your museum, will they be able to, connect with their own voice and then with their own truth and that power? Tell me if that didn't make too much sense. Does that make that good?
That makes sense.
Okay.
Absolutely. Or one of the things I've been telling everyone is, like, I've tried to cover so much in the museum. Um, because with Black women, like you said, we have such strong, strong voices, and
Mhm.
our voices does have weight. And when you leave there, that is the expectation, that you leave with finding your voice. I hope I answered that question. And you leave with some energy to continue the fight. You know, I hate to say, but it seems like as Black women, we're always fighting. We're always fighting to prove our magic, to prove our worth. And at the Black Girl Magic Museum, we already know our worth. We
Mhm.
already know who we are. And this is the time to honor who we are, to show how powerful we are, and to show everyone our magic without even proving anything to anyone. This is a space where we don't have to explain who we are as Black women and that we are worthy.
Wow, yeah, I love that. You really put that together very well. Now, as you know, we do have a new vice president elect, Senator Kamala Harris. What do politics aside, because we could go there, what do you
Yes.
what do you think her new title and her position and even her story means for Black Girl Magic?
Man, it's so funny because she's actually on our walls.
Yay.
We're not we're not gonna release it until opening day though,
Okay,
because we
okay.
got people coming through. But um, I remember being in the room making the decision to put her on the wall before we even knew she was going to be
Mm,
the VP. And I said, regardless, win or lose,
mhm,
she is one of the only ones in Congress, a woman of color in Congress, and she's so important. You know, Shirley Chisholm is also one that had paved the way for her to be there. And
mhm,
I just think now more than ever,
mhm,
Black women can accomplish anything. You know, like we've been able to accomplish anything, but now no matter the adversities, no matter what people say about us, no matter what, we're still able to overcome. And I'm so proud to see that. Two of my nieces are biracial, and to even for them to see that you don't have to explain things to people, you don't have to prove that you are enough, and that you can stand in who you are and know that you're opening doors and breaking down barriers for not even just yourself, but for other people, you know? And
mhm,
to also see that, it gave me some strength to push on, because you know, with being a business owner, some days you want to give up. Some days you're like, is it worth it? And
mhm,
I said, if she can do it, you know, the adversities and the things that she's been through, we all can. The
mhm,
days when we're having a bad day on our job, or, you know, slander, or people coming up with inhumane things to say about us, we still can push through, because she did. And she showed
mhm.
us no matter what the whole, like literally the world, you know, the world say about you, you still can be an overcomer. So
Yeah. Yeah, so you talked about pushing through the wall as an entrepreneur. As you probably know, if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you, Black women are the largest growing group of entrepreneurs in America. Like we start businesses like we drink water. Essentially, that's just what we do. So, when was the point that you got to the wall of? And I'm not sure if you're still working full time, because a lot of people work full time as they go into their entrepreneurial journey. What was the point where you hit the wall where you said, okay, either I'm gonna keep going or I'm just gonna sit and not, you know what I mean?
absolutely. I take this time to really say how blessed I am.
Mhm.
My husband has been a huge supporter of everything about me. Like, I'm such a free spirit. I'm such a, you know, just want to impact the Black community, even for my nonprofit. He has allowed me to be able to spread my wings and create and to inspire. And earlier this year, well, actually in 2019, I told him like, hey, I work in on political campaigns also. So I felt happy to see, you know, Miss VP in office, because I came off of a campaign in March before Corona happened, and I was able to register 15,000 Black and brown people in Texas to be able to
Wow.
vote. And so I said, I want this to be my last contract that I pick up, because I want to really push forward on the mission of empowering and uplifting Black young ladies. That is my purpose in life, is to uplift and empower us. And for him to always just be on board for my mission and the journey that God has for me has been so phenomenal. And just speaking to him, and he's like, go for it. That was that moment in March when COVID happened, and just knowing that whatever I do, he's going to support me, and just really to make that push. And my nieces, they're 6, 8, and 13. Seeing the struggle of being Black girls for
Mm,
me. Um, one of my nieces, she's 8, and she went through a really dark time of not being happy with being who she is.
mm,
And I said, there's not enough money in the world that I could continue to go after over doing changing the lives of little Black girls. We did a photo shoot on Saturday, and it made me realize this was my purpose. Those little girls, we didn't tell them nothing. They were putting each other's crowns on. They were fixing the crowns. They were fixing each other's shirts, their clothes. Turn around. Let me take this off of you. And this is what that was about. And in March, when I had my nieces, I saw that in them too. Like,
mm.
it is detrimental that we show our young girls that they are worth it and worthy. And I really just said, it's now or never. COVID happened. I'm at home. There's no more excuses. I felt very accomplished registering all those people to vote in South Texas. And I was like, now I'm about to walk in my purpose and my mission. And no matter how hard, because we all know funds run low, you get over budget,
Yeah.
things that you never imagined come up, the people come into attack, everything being an entrepreneur, things that you even didn't even budget for. Like, so I have to pay for this too. And this, I don't,
Yes.
so I knew. And then when the verdict came, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I wanted to quit at one point. And then when the verdict came for Breonna Taylor, that the wall received more justice than she did,
Yeah.
I said, if I have breath in my body, I'm going to push forward and finish this mission. And I continue to push forward because I'm originally from Biloxi, Mississippi,
Mm,
and I know the struggles of being a Black woman. And I know the struggles. It's not, people think that it's so far away of injustice and segregation. One of my aunts had to drop out of school due to the injustice of being a Black woman, girl in Mississippi.
mhm,
So I knew for them, I had to keep pushing for it. My mom, my grandmother, my grandmother's still alive. She's 83 years old.
mm.
On that day, I remembered all of these people that have overcame for me, and I knew I couldn't give up no matter how hard it got. So yes, that's when.
Wow. Wow, that's fantastic. Your relationship with your nieces reminds me of my great aunt. She only had one son, but all of her nieces, all of us, I would say it's at least over 10 of us. We all just looked up to her. And like since she's passed away, I'm not gonna cry, but we have like taken taking stock of like the influence she's had on us for our career, our education, our music, and all of us are just kind of like the type of like educated free spirit that she was. So I just think it's really beautiful that you have that relationship and you're fostering it with your nieces because trust me, they won't take it for granted. They may look up and be 30 like me and be like, oh my God, I'm doing this because of my aunt. She taught me how to do this. She was really that girl. So yeah,
Yes.
that's fantastic. So you worked in you said politics. Now, what do you think like the stories like a lot of people don't talk about Simone Sanders. I look up to Simone. I think she's phenomenal. And I love the relationship that she has with her husband as well. What do you think people like her and oh man, Stacey Abrams? Stacey Abrams, why can't I
Yes,
remember
I
her name?
love Stacey Abrams.
What do you think them as new political figures, what does it mean for Black girls and Black women?
I think it means that we could stand in any space. I think a lot, especially when I have told people I work in politics or just working on campaigns, they're really amazed. I know for my personal self. And so I think seeing like Stacey Abrams and Simone Sanders, isn't that's her name, right? Simone, yeah, Simone
Yes, yes,
Sanders.
yes.
I think, seeing, and actually my project manager went to school with her. So she's really
Wow.
excited. Yes, my project manager working on this. Yes, she went to undergrad with Simone Sanders.
Wow.
But I think we now can see the strength and how important Black women are. Like, if it
Mhm.
wasn't for Stacey Abrams, Georgia would not be blue. If
No.
it wasn't for her not giving up when she was cheated out of the governor's race, because
Mhm.
that's a lot of times we get so caught up in being um, disappointed and knowing that we have been treated unjust, and we say, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna go live my life. But
Mhm.
Stacey Abrams took a situation that was meant for her to give up, and she
Mhm.
overcame. And I think that young Black girls can see sometimes life don't go as planned, but we can go back to the drawing board, and we can come back bigger and better than ever, because Stacey did that in
It's
Georgia. And even
undeniable.
for me,
Mhm.
I was literally in tears. Like, I was literally in tears to see the impact that she has had in Georgia, and she came under such fire too. And I think, I know as a Black woman, we are the pillar of not only our families, but a lot of times our communities.
Mhm.
And, I remember, I believe it was in 2016 when she came under attack for having student loan debt, going into default and things like that. And them not understanding that we don't have the same economic advantages of so many others, and that we also, when we go higher in our careers or just in class and status, we're also taking care of our families, we're also sacrificing so much. And that life also happens, unlike so many others, we don't have people to run to ask to borrow money, or sometimes banks won't even give us the same interest
Nope.
rates as others. And even through all of that, she overcame, she pushed through, and didn't have any excuses. And they're my sheroes. I would just say that they're
Mhm.
my sheroes. And 20 2024, I will be back in the race too, to get the next person into office, or hopefully it's Kamala running,
Mhm.
to be whoever it is. They inspire me to even say, I want to be a part of it again, so yes.
Yeah, it's great. So now that we have these people who are our modern day heroes, they are the ones that we look up to, and we can honestly go on and on because there's so many of us doing things in live in action right now in 2020, despite life being virtual. Still, we are still creating space. And what I see Black Girl Magic Museum is it's just it's a space for us to cultivate. So what does it look like for someone who wants to continue to create space? Because what I like that you mentioned that we're not monolithic, which we aren't. And I like that your space is inclusive for all black girls and black women. So what does it look like, to create space? Like what type of considerations did you have to make when you took on this endeavor?
Honestly, I have so many different women
Mhm.
around me that we're all so different. And
Mhm.
so I reached out to them just to get some feedback on what does it mean for them to be a Black woman. And
Yeah.
I did a lot of research too on what does it mean just in general when Black women, no one else, because it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about us, but
Mhm.
what do we think when we think of being Black? And a lot of words that I heard was bold,
Mhm.
fierce, um, and overcomer kept coming. Like most people, when I told them to give me 5 words,
Mhm.
overcomer was one of the main words that came through. And that's some of the things that I did. I reached out to everyone to say, hey, give me some feedback. Why does representation, I received over 100 submissions from people that I know or my friends knew on what it means to them to be a Black woman and why representation matters to them. And I was able to create this concept from all of us. And that's why I tell everyone this is just not about me, it's about every Black woman. And so that's also what we're going to do. We're going to have a like an informational box for Black women to be able to fill out to say, hey, I would love to see this concept. I think this would be a great concept for, once you expand, more the Dallas market because, I want to know, I want to be aware of what other Black women are thinking that I wasn't able to speak to. But
Mhm.
even tackling mental health, a lot of times in our community, we don't like to talk about mental health.
Mhm.
We sometimes use it as a trending word, but to really say, I went a week and couldn't even get out of my bed. And what does that look like? Depression, or let's really talk about self-sabotaging, the imposter syndrome. And, so I wanted to cover a lot of that. Like, you can take your mask when we walk into this door. You can take your mask off. You don't have to wear a mask. This is a safe space. And also, I was able to reach out to a lot of artists. Every artist that worked on this museum was Black, and
Mhm.
they were able to create. They were able to develop. And I told them a concept, and I said, do you. I'm not going to tell you where to put someone, how to put them. This is also your museum. So I was very conscious of making sure that everyone knew that this is for all of us across the board.
Wow. So I like that you allow people to even give ideals so that they can take part in creating the space. Now,
Absolutely.
with your efforts in doing that, and you do mean that you said take the mask off. People do have to wear their mask, though, right? I just want
Yes,
to.
they have to
Okay.
take
I just want to make sure. I'm like, gotta stay COVID compliant,
No, no, we got to get, yeah. If you're not taking a photo, that mask has to be on.
Stay
It
on
has no, the mask of we want to keep
your
those secrets
spiritual
and
mask.
pretend, yes, and pretend like everything's okay. And this is a safe space, but not a safe space to take that mask off. Yes, and I do want to talk about that too. So we have
Wow.
every room will have a sanitation station.
Mm,
So when you go in and out of the room,
mhm.
you will be able to sanitize your hands, and we will frequently be wiping down all props
Mm,
and
okay.
pens, anything that's inside of there. It will be wiped down frequently, and we only allow 25 people an hour.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
it.
That's pretty
So
good.
yes, we were like, we're not going to let COVID stop us, but
Mm,
we're going to be wise.
great.
So yes.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that, you're allowing more Black women to who, haven't had to share the same experience as you. I'm not sure if she told you, but I'm actually in the UK now, and I've learned that a lot of like, yeah, I've been here, it's very different. Like it's very different. But here a lot of the Black women, like what they experience is very, very, very different. And even like back home, like our differences may be religion, like orientation, like where you came from, where where you were born and how you grew up. But here, like they have a completely like almost different experience. So do you plan to take this thing worldwide?
Absolutely. We are looking to expand into South Africa,
Mm,
the UK. We're looking at a couple places to go. We want to we're working on developing a 5-year plan. And really, if the people want it, we're bringing it to the people.
they want
Every
it.
market that needs it, I
Mhm.
have told everyone this is our pilot. You guys haven't seen anything yet. Due to COVID, we had to minimize some of the things that we were going to do. We
Mhm.
were originally looking at having a between 5 to 10,000 square foot building, but because of COVID, we had to restructure our plans because of budget, because of who's really going to come out during this time, and
Mhm.
not we really didn't want to go virtual because the in-house experience is one of a kind,
Yeah,
and we knew that we wanted to keep the same integrity of being in person. So Dallas is going to just be not even 1/3 of what you're going to be experience in 2021.
that's fantastic. So where will it be in Dallas?
So it's actually in Mesquite. So it's 15
Okay.
minutes outside of the downtown area. And
Mhm.
um, with knowing my I guess by trade, um, I have a marketing background. So I
Mhm.
was able to research a lot. And so one of the things I saw about downtown Dallas, and working in nonprofit, I will say that too. I wanted a price point that everyone could afford.
Mhm.
And even if I brought the price down to, let's just say, $15,
Mhm.
I was cognitive of parking,
Mhm.
of the food in the area.
Yeah.
I wanted people to be able to, if they purchased tickets, to be able to come and have free parking, to be able to have food places that wasn't, basically, I didn't want people to come out and have to spend $300 on one outing. That's not realistic for a lot of people in our
Mhm.
communities. So I wanted to make sure I put it in a location that was aware of our economic,
Mhm.
situations. And that's not, and what I think about when I create a business is for everyone. We're all not struggling, but we're all not rich. So I wanted to be somewhere that no one was left out. So that's why I chose Mesquite.
That's good. Yeah, I like that it's accessible because if you go downtown, you may spend $10 to get in somewhere, but your parking may be 40. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yes.
So it's just
So that.
like what are you really doing? But no, I love that you did that. Mesquite is a great central location. I think for our community is central, like it's easily accessible for everybody. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the highways. Is it 35? Is it 35?
35. Yep. Yep. I think it's, yep, coming off of 35.
Okay. Ooh, I haven't been gone that long. But yeah, so I actually think that you've covered everything. I'm not sure if like it's like I sent you the questions or something. But before we go, I wanted to ask you, how are you doing with this year? Are you doing okay? Just a wellness check. You don't have to tell me everything, but as long as
Oh no, you're
how you
fine.
coping?
Yes.
How are you
So,
coping?
this year has been so interesting to say
Mm,
the least. Um, but through it all, I've had good spirit, but seeing the people passing from COVID.
mm,
I love people. I don't know if you could tell through our interview, but I love people, and to see the impact of other families who have had to deal with the deaths, the unnecessary deaths of COVID, and just also, with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. I always say his name wrong, but
mm,
was so hurtful to me this year. But I use my pain to turn into purpose, and that's
mm.
what really has helped me to move forward, to know that I'm walking in purpose. But this year has been tough, but good, good, good. It has stretched and grown me for sure.
Yeah, I think that this on another episode I talked about this year how it just kind of has been like of sometimes it's been the mirror that we did not want to look into. Even if that means that we were like avoiding getting started on our businesses or any type of endeavors or even during our mental healing or a spiritual healing, you got to look at it this year. You can't because you
Absolutely has. I have been so committed to my therapist. We have become best friends. I'm joking. We
no,
meet
it's okay.
very often. And before COVID, I would always say I would commit a little, then I'll get too busy. And now I'm realizing how you can become so centered when you take time for yourself, your
Mhm.
mental health, and your mental health is your wealth. Literally, it's not even just a trending word. When you are better and you're thriving mentally, you can accomplish almost anything. And also becoming a habit, scheduling those sessions with your therapist, you will see that things will work out for your good regardless. So
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that piece of becoming consistent, because now she's become a part of my week. So when I become back busy in 2021, it's normal now. It's normal to know that I have this hour that I have to sit down and, work through some issues I might have.
Yeah, I my therapist she went had to leave like for work like indefinitely in the army at in June. So I've been faring by myself. So but I'm really grateful that you've been able to incorporate it into your life and you plan on continuing just because not a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people think that it's a one quick pony like you go one time and then you're fixed kind of like a pill, although pills don't really fix much, but I'm glad that you're using it regularly. So before, I'm sorry, go on.
Oh no, I'm saying absolutely. I was
Okay.
agreeing. Yes.
So before we go, because you did the thing, girl. But is there, what are the other than the website, where can, if someone wants to get in touch with you all, like, are you guys still taking artists, someone who may, have an ideal, or would that be for some of the next cities that you guys have on track?
Actually, we're looking for artists that have canvases that they would like to either. So we're doing two things. If you
Mhm.
have this art piece in your house that you're like, this is too good to sell, but you want others to see your art, we're accepting artists in the DFW area or wherever. If you want to mail it to us, we will put it up on our wall. It will come
Mhm.
with a QR code
Mhm.
to go to your website so that people can
Mhm.
find out more information about you.
That's
Then we also have a spot that is only for Black women.
nice.
So the first one is for Black women or men. The second option is only for Black women. If you have pieces of art that you are looking to sell,
Mhm.
you can bring them to us. We have contracts and everything for you. And same thing, we will get those sold for you. They can buy it at the end of the 14 weeks, and
Mhm.
you get 100% of your proceeds. We do not take anything from it. So
Wow.
um, yes, we're all about collaboration and giving back. This is the time, not just the year. This is the time for Black women, and we also have to come together and spread the opportunities, the wealth, and everything. And so, if anyone wants to get in contact with us, we
Mhm.
could be reached at info at itsmymelanin.com, and that's info at itsmymelanin.com.
I love that. If you can't tell, it's mymelanin.com. And you guys, so I love that you guys are not only collaborating with the local artists, you are also supporting them, I guess you can say economically, or, you know,
Absolutely.
fiscally. That's fantastic. So for everything else, is Black Girl Magic Museum on all of the social media accounts, or okay.
Yes, Black Girl Magic Museum on all the social media accounts. Yes,
Okay.
we're on, we haven't really posted on Twitter, but we're on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not huge on social media, so I'm like, which ones are we on?
Well, you said you have a staff, so I'm sure somebody is all about that. That's so great. Yeah, and I'll follow you on TikTok. I don't know why I love TikTok as of lately. It's just really good, positive content. So that's my go-to.
Absolutely,
So yeah, Dominique, thank you so much. I'm so happy that we got to chat.
absolutely, anytime. Thank you so much, and I will definitely be listening to your podcast moving forward.